Hi family, hi friends. This is going to be a little different than my normal YouTube channel posting. This is the club that I belong to. It's down in Pocatello, Idaho. It's about an hour south of where I live normally. We're doing some work on there, and I wanted to kind of show the work that I've done on there's a section HoN3 scale area. And then this will be a two-part video, so this will be part one or part A. And then I'll show you the part B, which will be we're expanding the N scale here in this area, so we're going to be able to run longer trains and more trains. So that'll what be part B will be about. But part one is just kind of about the whole club and how it lays out. So this is the opening. This is where we go into the club. And that's the name of the club. I'll put it in the description below as well, and give a phone number for those that may be in the area or would like to visit it during the time they might be coming through. We do open house runs every third Saturday, and we run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and every Wednesday night. I'm here on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but most of the guys don't get here till around 7 or 6:30, 7 o'clock. But we do work nights on Wednesday night, so if you're in the area and you want to come by, please do. We'd love to have you. So anyway, let's go inside and I'll show you the inside. Alright, so immediately into the entryway we've got displays full of different antiquities, people that have donated stuff, and things we're working on. This is our N scale layout, and I'll go into more detail in the part B of this video. That's our N scale room. And then more cases. We have old timetables and different paraphernalia. Some of it's Union Pacific. There's other road names. Obviously, being in Pocatello, Idaho, Union Pacific is the ruling railroad here. So this is kind of our meeting room and reception room. When we have open house nights, we let the kids play with the trains on the table here, and that seems to be the big draw for the little ones. And then, of course, the parents can sit around and talk and socialize. Again, just a ton of stuff in the cases. Got the different scales represented. We got a gentleman that built this beautiful steamer here. If I can get in and look at it, there's who built it and when it was built. And that's I think it's a 125 scale. Anyway, which you can't see because the light is too bright. I don't know if I can get up here far enough. No, I can't. But that's looking out at the railroad. That's the real railroad out there. So back to the cases. Lots of interesting stuff in here. Some of it really old, some of it more recent. Different scales are represented here. G scale and Lionel and O scale. I don't think we have anything smaller than those scales. An old bell. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying not to walk too fast here, but there's a lot to show, so I'm trying to get through most of it if I can. Anyway, there's some Lionel stuff there, and yeah, some more cases full of memorabilia and different kinds of stuff. We have a case over here that's kind of cool. It's got all of it's got a representation of what the passenger train service looked like back in the day. The silver needs to be polished, but that's an idea of what you would see if you were sitting down in the heyday of railroading, passenger service. Some other memorabilia, and there's some plates up here. So coming back, we're looking back at the door that we just came in down the hallway there. So now we're going to turn the other direction 180 degrees, and this is our N scale room, or excuse me, our HO scale room. And this is going to be about 5 minutes for me to walk around this, so I'll try to not go too fast. Two main lines, and then tons of sidings. This is a roundhouse, and there's a staging yard up on the left hand side there, and that's only where the club members get to go to. We have more locomotives up here on display. These are G scale, I believe all of it is G scale. Anyway, you can spend a couple hours here for sure. So let's walk around the HO real quick. Everybody's had the opportunity to build other areas. Past members have built areas. New members are building areas. Normal club. This was the roundhouse. Get the gentleman's name. There we go. It focused in. And he built this by scratch as a replica of the roundhouse that used to be here that they took down, I think in 51. Maybe it was 53. Anyway. So again, we got the main lines. We have a signal system that is functional and works. It's not on right at the moment. Lights aren't on, obviously. So, but it does function with the trains. We've got everything. We've got the cars set up so that they can be identified in the different block areas. And just goes back and forth in the room, basically. This is another staging area that we have. And ice house for the older modelers. And we don't really model one specific age or era, or even as far as a road name. We don't really care what you're running. So we'd love to have anybody that comes down that we just want to run trains and visit with the guys and see if this might work for you. Anyway, so yeah, just kind of a overview. This is our club president's little house of his toys. He's got a section of the layout that he's worked on and has a storage yard for himself there. Still just the two main lines going around with lots of sidings. They have done op sessions in the past, but from what I understand, nobody currently wants to do op sessions, so we won't be doing op sessions anytime in the near future, but they can be done. We can do it with a program, computer program, or we can do it by a timetable. I know we can do it lots of other ways to do it, but yeah, so this area here, this gentleman just passed that did this, and I apologize not knowing his name, but he did such a beautiful job on this area. It's a representation of a downtown area. Very beautifully done. Got a fire truck. I should have turned on the layout so the lights would be on and stuff. And got flickering lights in the building like it's still on fire. So anyway, so now we're looking down back towards the back wall again. Off to the right here we have a G scale, a Lionel, O scale, and S scale. All three different scales are represented in this little area, and it's pretty tall. It's been here for a while. This was done with dryer sheets and plaster of Paris. Lots of dryer sheets from what I understand. It was before my time. Just the old school DC controllers. But this it runs back behind the mountain, obviously on the return loop. But pretty big draw for our club. Different scales are represented. So we'll come back over on this side again. This is the gentleman's town. We're just leaving his town, and lots more detail out there. I know I'm going really too fast, so I apologize. I don't mean to make you sick. We won't go around the whole entire layout because it just takes another 5 minutes to get around. But anyway, I've really never timed a train to know how long it takes all the way around the loop. But got some coal here. Got some trucking industries in the back there. We got a logging facility coming up here. We got some on the logs on the rails. A sawmill, I guess, would be the appropriate terminology. And some of these models are just very, very well done. And the detail that they put into them and the time they've spent on them. We got, the people are there, the trucks are there, the logs are there. It's just some real beautiful work. And us guys now, we're just trying to keep it all clean and running. So it's a full-time job that way. So over the last year and a half, the track split here. The two mains go to the back, and then we've got another staging yard and switching yard that runs parallel to the back of the building. And I'll show you this when we get to the other side looking back this way, but that's just another big area for us to stage up trains. So I've been working on this area for a year and a half now, and this was the only thing that was here was the two main lines. And I even pulled those up and reworked them, so it's all new. But we've done a lot of rock and a lot of plastering. Got some deer in here, and we still have to do the paintings on the background. We've got a gentleman that's a really good painter that we're trying to convinced that he needs to paint it for us. Put a waterfall in, an old-time bridge, and I should have showed this. I'm sorry, I'm going to come back here real quick. I won't go too fast. So we did HoN3, so it's a double gauge track, and we go up here farther, and I'll show you where the HoN3 takes off, and then it's its own scale. But we did double track all the way up. To the right, you'll see that we haven't finished, but that's going to go into the yard. And then to the left, your HO goes back out to the main line, and nothing new there. So, but the HoN3 is on the right-hand side, and we're going to have it come back and into a little bit of a Y, and then take off back up into the yard. And we're still working on those tracks. Like I say, I got about a year and a half so far on this side. There's a total of 36 feet that I've been modeling. So it's the full length of this back area. It's I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent here working on this. So we got some kayakers coming underneath the bridge, and got some more over on this side that are just getting in and starting their adventure down the river. Most of the trees, all of the pine trees that you see, are mine. I made them. I got 250 trees made so far. We have other trees that are already made that we bought and put in place, and got some more deer hanging out on the side here. So the two main line goes under the bridge there, goes back back by the blue backer board. Then we have our HoN3 on the front here on the top, and we're coming into a coal area that is not completed either, but we're working on it. So there'll be a 3-lane coal filling facility here on the top. We got HoN3 up here on the top, and then on the bottom we have the HO gauge, and I got part of the retaining wall built. You'll just see this, it'll just be all the way. And more supplies and things that are partially done and half done. Got to have our snacks. So then the HoN3 goes into a tunnel. HoN3, this is where it divides out. Should move my licorice. I gotta move them both. There we go. So that's where our HoN3 takes off in its own gauge, and it goes up the hill under all the trees. And we've got a logging center at the top. I'll show you that to you in a minute. And then we have a small staging yard here, and it's a dual gauge as well. And we will stage our coal here, as well as our log coming down from the HoN3 scale. And then we have this main line here that runs all the way up and over. It's our access line. So this is kind of like my layout. I did these little cabins. This is HO scale, but I did them in N scale, and I really liked it, and so I did it here as well. So I have my cabins and trees and houses, or cars and whatnot here. And we had some flowers that we put in. They turned out really nice. I wasn't too big on the flowers, but they turned out nice. So then we're still going down the side here. The HO gauge is underneath all of this, all the houses and road and stuff. And then the N3 is going up the hill. This is our access HoN3 gauge, dual gauge. And then our HO comes back out of the tunnel. And we have a switcher up there that's been converted to a N3 gauge. It used to be an HO gauge. It's an old Athens blue box, but we've narrowed up the wheels and converted it, so now it's a N3 gauge. This is the tunnel coming into the area on the HoN3 dual gauge, and then the two on the right hand side is our runaround lines for HoN3, our HO's gauge. Lots of rock. So lots of rock. I've done lots of rock before this, so I felt comfortable doing more rock here. And some more trees that I've made that I haven't put in place yet. They're waiting to be planted. So then looking back down the line here, so we're looking back the other direction, and then I told you I'd show you at the other end what the other end looks like, and this is the other end of our HO scale staging yard. A little bit of a maintenance shop back there. And then it continues on and keeps on going. I'll show you a little bit more, and we'll call this a video. This is another gentleman's area that he's been working on for a few years and making some headway, and got some downtown look, and then he's got a train track that runs through the downtown like it used to back in some of the towns that we've all lived in. And So it's looking really good. Doing a great job on it. Another area that somebody's done, and I'm not sure who did this area specifically, but the two main lines are on the right hand side. There's more lines on the inside, and another club member has designated this as his area, so he stages his trains up back here in this back area. Nobody stages on the main lines for obvious reasons, but yeah, we keep coming through the mountain cut here, and it goes up and makes a big loop there and comes back down. And then this is our staging yard that I showed you from the other angle. We're almost back to the beginning again. That's the back side of the roundhouse. That kind of gives you a point of reference. And this has been a very long video already, and I apologize for that. But this is a part A. Just wanted to give you an exposure to the layout. Obviously HO is the main gauge that most of the people that are members here run. So anyway, now we've reached back to where we were started from, and there's the roundhouse again. So anyway, just wanted to thank you all. Got to show my face for the grandkids. So hi grandkids, love you. Hope your day's going well. Anyway, I'll do a part B, and the part B will be about the end scale and what we're going to do with that. So have a great day. We'll talk at you later. Bye.